Daniel, you're late again. He laughed, brushing snow from his jacket. Traffic, I swear. You look beautiful, Em. I folded my arms. You always say that when you know I'm upset. Well, it's true. He leaned in, kissed my cheek, then collapsed into the chair across from me. So tell me, how's the design pitch going? It's fine, I said, stirring my coffee though it was already cold. It would have been better if my partner showed up for the meeting, he chuckled. Guilty, but you know I'm rooting for you. You're my miracle, remember? When he said that word, miracle, I still felt warmth bloom in my chest. It reminded me of when we first met 2 years ago at that dull networking event. He'd called my laugh the only thing worth hearing in a room full of noise. I'd believed him. Maybe I still did. Lisa slid into the booth beside me, late as usual but glowing. Am I interrupting your cute couple drama or can I steal the salt? Daniel smiled. Be my guest. I think Emma's already seasoning me alive, Lisa grinned. You probably deserve it, she turned to me. You okay, babe? Always, I lied. She caught my tone, but she didn't push. That's what I loved about Lisa. She knew when silence said more than words. Mark showed up a few minutes later, clapping Daniel's shoulder. Still making her wait, huh? Daniel rolled his eyes. You too? Someone has to keep you humble. Mark sat beside him, giving me a small smile. You doing all right, Emma? I nodded. Trying to. Our table filled with chatter, the easy, noisy kind that makes you forget your doubts. Daniel told stories about work. Lisa laughed too loud. Mark kept refilling everyone's drinks. For a while, I forgot that Daniel hadn't asked about my presentation, or that he'd spent the last week half answering my messages. Later, when Lisa went to the counter for dessert, I whispered, You've been distracted. Daniel blinked. What do you mean? You barely look at me lately, he frowned. Emma, I've been under pressure. You know that? I do. But I miss you. His hand reached across the table, brushed my fingers. Don't. You're everything I'm fighting for. Those words soothed me, even though a small part of me didn't believe them. After dinner, we walked home together. The streetlights threw soft gold on the wet pavement. Remember when we couldn't afford taxis? I teased, he laughed. You mean when you insisted we walk because you liked the rain? I still do. He stopped, caught my hand. You changed my life, Em. You really are my miracle. I smiled, trying to hold on to the warmth in his eyes. Then stop treating miracles like they last forever without care. He laughed again, but it sounded tired. You overthink everything. Maybe I did. But maybe he underfelt everything. At home, while he showered, I sat by the window watching headlights blur past. Lisa texted, he seems distant again. You okay? I typed back, he's just stressed. Then deleted it and wrote, I don't know. When Daniel came out, hair damp, smelling of soap, he said, Don't wait up. I need to finish a proposal. Another late night? Just work, I promise. I forced a smile. All right. After he left, the apartment felt too quiet. I picked up his jacket to hang it and found a receipt from a restaurant we'd never been to. 2 meals, 1 wine bottle, dated last night. My stomach twisted. The next morning, Lisa noticed my mood instantly. What happened? Nothing confirmed, I murmured. Just a feeling, she sighed. Feelings usually mean something. Don't ignore them. I don't want to be paranoid. Then ask him, I will. That night, Daniel came home late again. I waited on the couch. Hey, he said, surprised. Why are you still up? Because I wanted to talk. He hesitated, then sat. About? Were you out with a client yesterday? Yeah, why? At Leora Bistro? His expression flickered, then smoothed. How do you know that place? I don't, but you do, apparently. He rubbed his face. Emma, it's just dinner. You really don't have to check receipts. So there was dinner. With investors? Who? He sighed. You don't trust me anymore, do you? I'm trying to. He leaned forward, voice softening. Then believe me, I'd never hurt you. Something in his tone made me nod, though I wasn't convinced. Okay, I whispered. He smiled, kissed my forehead, and went to bed. When the door closed, I whispered to the empty room, You call me your miracle. Don't forget what that means. I didn't know it yet, but miracles fade fastest when only one person believes in them. Daniel? Who's Livy? He looked up from his phone, startled. What? The message on your screen said, See you tonight, D. Who's Livy? He laughed too quickly. Olivia, my new client. You met her at the launch event, remember? I don't, I said quietly. And you didn't tell me about her before. He slipped his phone into his pocket. You're reading too much into everything again, Em. Again. The word stung. I crossed my arms. Then just tell me why she's texting you like that. She's young, casual. That's how people talk now. So I should just accept strange women calling you D at midnight? Emma, please. He sighed, rubbing his forehead. You know I'd never do anything to hurt you. I wanted to believe him. I really did. Fine, I muttered. I'll drop it, he smiled, relieved. Good, now come here. He wrapped his arm around me, kissed my hair. I leaned in, trying to feel safe again, but my heart stayed tight. Lisa noticed my mood the next day. You look like someone stepped on your favorite painting, I tried to joke. Maybe they did. Daniel again? I hesitated. He's busy. And texting women I don't know. Her eyebrows shot up. Wait, what? It's probably nothing, I said quickly. Emma, I saw him. My throat went dry. What do you mean you saw him? At the cafe near the river. Yesterday. With a woman. Blonde, short hair, red coat. They looked close. My stomach dropped. You're sure it was him? I wish I wasn't. I tried to breathe. Maybe it was a meeting. Maybe, Lisa said softly. You don't have to make excuses for him. I'm not. But even I didn't believe that. That evening, I waited for Daniel. He came home humming, tossing his keys onto the counter. How was your day? I asked too calmly. Exhausting? But productive. With Olivia? He froze for half a second, then smiled. You remember her name now. Lisa said she saw you with her. His expression shifted, half surprise, half annoyance. Lisa needs new glasses. So you're saying she lied? I'm saying you shouldn't let other people mess with your head. I clenched my fists. I just want honesty. And I want peace, he snapped. Then softer. Why can't you trust me? Because you keep giving me reasons not to. He exhaled sharply. You know what? I can't do this every night. I'm trying to build something for us and all you see are ghosts. I see patterns, I whispered. He stared at me, then shook his head. I love you, Emma, but you're going to ruin us if you keep digging where there's nothing. He walked away before I could answer. The next week, Daniel brought Olivia to dinner. This is Olivia Summers, he said, cheerful, hand on her shoulder. My business partner. Olivia smiled, confident, polished, every hair in place. I've heard so much about you, Emma. Good things, I hope. All good, she said smoothly, taking a seat beside Daniel. Lisa and Mark were there too. Lisa's expression screamed, Are you seeing this? Mark looked uncomfortable. As conversation flowed, I watched Olivia laugh too easily at Daniel's jokes, touch his arm when she spoke. He didn't pull away. So, Olivia said, Daniel tells me you're a designer. That must be exciting. It can be, I replied. Daniel jumped in. Emma's incredible. She has an eye for things most people miss. I smiled faintly. Funny, since lately you've missed quite a few things yourself. The table went quiet for a moment. Olivia sipped her wine. Relationships thrive on trust, don't they? Absolutely, Daniel said, not looking at me. Lisa coughed. Anyone want dessert? Mark cleared his throat. I'll help you get it. They both escaped to the kitchen. I leaned closer to Daniel. Why bring her here? Because I'm tired of you imagining monsters. I'm not imagining. She's my partner, Em, that's it. Then why does she act like she's more? He smirked. Maybe you're jealous. Should I be? He didn't answer. After dinner, Lisa pulled me aside. That woman's dangerous. I know. And Daniel's an idiot. I know that too. Then why are you still here? I looked toward Daniel laughing with Olivia by the car. Because I still love him, Lisa sighed. Love shouldn't hurt like that. When they left, Mark lingered. You okay? I will be. He hesitated. He's not the man you think he is. Then who is he, Mark? He looked away. Someone who doesn't deserve you. That night, I sat on the couch pretending to read while Daniel worked in his study. His voice drifted through the half-closed door. Yeah, I'll make sure she gets what she wants, he said, low but clear. My breath caught. I crept closer. No, she doesn't suspect anything, he continued. Just focus on the deal. Olivia, relax. I've got it handled, every word cut deeper. I pressed a hand to my mouth, afraid to make a sound. When he hung up, I stepped back into the living room before he could catch me listening. My chest ached with confusion and fear. He walked out smiling. You still awake? Yeah, my voice trembled. Who are you talking to? Just a client. Olivia? He paused. Yeah, why? Nothing, I said, forcing a smile. Just curious. He kissed my forehead and went upstairs. The moment he was gone, I sat there in the quiet, my heart pounding like it was trying to escape my ribs. What does she want? I whispered to the dark, and for the first time I realized I might not be enough for the man who once called me his miracle. Lisa's voice echoed in my head all evening. He's hiding something, Emma. Don't ignore it. At 10, Daniel still wasn't home. His phone went straight to voicemail. My gut twisted. I grabbed my coat. If I'm wrong, I whispered, then I'll apologize forever. The city lights blurred as I followed his car. He turned into the old Riverside Hotel. My pulse pounded. Inside the dim lobby I saw him, Daniel, standing near the bar. Olivia was there too, smiling, her hand tracing his arm like she owned it. He leaned closer. Their heads nearly touched. She laughed, soft, familiar. I moved before my brain could stop me. Having fun? Daniel spun, eyes wide. Emma? What the hell? I could ask you the same, I cut in. Who's the client tonight? Olivia stepped back, smirking. Didn't expect company. Apparently neither did he, I said. Daniel's voice sharpened. You followed me? Yes, my hands shook. Because you stopped telling me the truth. This isn't what it looks like. Really? Then explain why she's touching you like that. Olivia smiled, slow and cruel. Daniel and I were just celebrating. Big deal closing tomorrow. Is that what you call it? I snapped. Celebrating? Emma? Daniel started, but I cut him off. Don't, I said. Just don't lie again. His expression hardened. You're out of line. You've been paranoid for weeks and now you're embarrassing yourself. I'm embarrassing myself? You're the one sneaking around with her. He threw up his hands. I can't even breathe without you assuming the worst. Olivia folded her arms. Maybe she's just insecure. I turned to her. Stay out of this, she shrugged. Touchy. My chest ached. Daniel, look me in the eye and tell me there's nothing between you two. He hesitated, jaw tight. I already told you it's business. Then why can't you say it like you mean it? He glared. Because I'm tired, Emma. I'm tired of your drama. You twist everything I do. Tears burned my eyes. I twist everything? You've been lying, hiding, gaslighting me. And you call that love? Maybe love isn't enough when it comes with constant suspicion. I laughed bitterly. So it's my fault now? I didn't say that. You didn't have to. Olivia looked between us, amused. I'll give you 2 a minute. No, I snapped. Stay. You might as well hear the truth too. She smirked. This should be good, I faced Daniel. You used to tell me I was your miracle. Was that just something to say between meetings? His eyes flickered, but he didn't answer. Say it, I whispered. Say it wasn't real. Emma, please. That's what I thought. He exhaled. You don't understand what's at stake here. Oh, I understand, I said quietly. You care more about your reputation than the person who believed in you. Enough. His voice rose. You have no right to follow me or question my work. You're suffocating me, I froze. Suffocating you? He nodded, anger flashing. Yes, maybe that's why I needed space. Olivia listens. You judge? Olivia smiled faintly. Don't drag me into your breakup. I stared at them both, the room spinning. So that's it. You're choosing her. No one's choosing anyone, Daniel said quickly. You're blowing this out of proportion. Out of proportion? My voice cracked. You were touching her, he scoffed. You're impossible. Something inside me snapped. You forgot I was your miracle, I said. You forgot who stood beside you when no one else did. He didn't answer. He just looked away. That silence said everything. I turned and walked out before my tears could fall. Outside, the air felt too cold. I pressed my hand to my chest, trying to keep my heart from breaking apart. Emma. Daniel's voice called behind me, but I didn't stop. I couldn't. When I reached the car, my phone buzzed. Lisa, where are you? She asked. I found them. My voice shook. Together. Oh, I can't breathe, Lisa. It's like everything I believed in just died. Where are you now? Outside the Riverside Hotel. I'm coming. No, please don't. Too late, she said. You shouldn't be alone. I hung up and leaned against the car, sobbing quietly until headlights appeared. Lisa ran to me, pulling me into her arms. Let it out, she whispered. I thought he loved me. He doesn't deserve you. I still love him, I admitted. She held me tighter. Love doesn't mean you stay while someone breaks you. I wiped my eyes. What am I supposed to do now? Start by breathing. I nodded, shaky, when another voice came from behind. Mark. Lisa called me. I turned, embarrassed. You shouldn't have. He looked at me gently. You knew something was wrong, Emma. I didn't want to believe it. No one ever does, he said quietly. I swallowed. He said I was suffocating him. Can you believe that? Mark's jaw tightened. He said that because he can't face what he's done. I laughed weakly. Maybe I should have seen it coming. Don't blame yourself. But I do. He sighed. You gave him everything. That's not weakness, it's love. He's the one who broke it. Lisa squeezed my hand. Come on. Let's go home. As we walked to her car, I looked back at the hotel's glowing windows. Somewhere inside, Daniel was probably pretending nothing had happened. My heart felt heavy, but something inside me hardened too. He'd called me his miracle once. Maybe I was, just not for him anymore. I whispered into the night, You forgot I was your miracle, Daniel. Now I'll remember it for myself. And as the door closed behind me, the person I used to be stayed there, broken, trembling, and finally awake. Lisa's apartment smelled like fresh coffee and lavender detergent. It didn't feel like home, not yet, but it felt safe. Sleep at all? She asked, sliding me a mug. Barely, I said. Every time I close my eyes, I see them. Lisa sighed. You can't keep replaying it. I know, I whispered. But the silence is worse. She sat across from me. You need something to fill it. A job, a project, something that's yours again. I looked up. Something that's mine. That's how I ended up at the small creative agency downtown. The office was messy, loud, full of people chasing deadlines and bad coffee. It felt alive. Ethan, the director, was in his late 30s, confident but kind. You're Emma, right? Lisa's friend? Yeah, I'm the one who used to design for big corporate clients until life happened. He smiled. Good. We need someone who's lived through something. Makes the work real. His words caught me off guard. You're not scared of hiring the damaged? Damaged, he said. I call it interesting. For the first time in weeks, I laughed. Later that day, I texted Lisa. I think I can breathe here. She replied instantly. Told you. Healing starts when you move. But healing wasn't linear. That night, Daniel posted a photo online, him and Olivia at some gala. Her hand on his chest. The caption read, Power couple energy. My stomach twisted. I threw the phone onto the couch. Lisa looked over. What happened? He's showing her off now. Then stop looking. I'm not stalking him. Then why's your phone shaking? I exhaled shakily. Because I want to hate him, but I still love the person I thought he was. Lisa's voice softened. You don't have to pick a side today. Just promise you'll stop begging the past to explain itself. I won't beg him, I said. Not again, she smiled faintly. Good. That's the Emma I remember. The next few weeks blurred into late nights at the agency. I started sketching again, designing campaign visuals, losing myself in color and motion. One afternoon, Ethan stopped by my desk. You've got a spark, you know that? I looked up, startled. A spark? Yeah, it's rare. You take pain and turn it into something bold. I hesitated. Bold's not what I feel. That's why it works, he said. I smiled weakly. Thanks, Ethan, he grinned. Just promise me one thing. Never go back to someone who made you small. That night, I stood by the window, staring at the city lights. His words echoed in my mind. Never go back to someone who made you small. Maybe he was right. The next morning, I met with the investors for my dream project, an independent art initiative I'd been building for years. One Daniel had promised to support. I walked into the office ready to fight for it. But the moment I sat down, I sensed something was wrong. Emma, One of the board members began gently. We've received notice from Daniel's firm. He's withdrawn all financial support. My heart stopped. What? He cited conflict of interest. I gripped the table. Conflict? He's flaunting his mistress in public, and this is his moral stance? The woman across from me looked sympathetic. I'm sorry. Without that funding, the project can't move forward. I forced a smile. I understand. Outside, the air hit me like ice. I called Daniel. He picked up after 3 rings. What do you want, Emma? His tone was cold, distant. You pulled funding from my project. Business decision. Don't play that card. You promised me. That was before everything fell apart. So you're punishing me now? He exhaled. I'm moving on, Emma. You should too. By destroying everything I worked for? It's not personal. It's always personal when you ruin someone's dream. Silence. Then his voice turned smug. Maybe it's time you learned to stand without me. I bit back the tears. You'll regret this, he laughed softly. You always say that. The call ended. I stood there, trembling, phone still pressed to my ear. Then slowly the trembling stopped. When I got home, Lisa saw my face. What happened? He cut me off. The project's dead. Her eyes widened. He did what? I nodded. Guess he wants me to stay broken. She grabbed my shoulders. Then prove him wrong. Something inside me shifted. I nodded. Yeah, I will. That night, I opened my sketchbook. My hands shook, but I started drawing, the first page of a new idea, a phoenix. Rising, Lisa peeked over my shoulder. You're planning something, aren't you? I smiled faintly. Not revenge. Not really. Then what? Reclaiming myself, I said. If he thinks he took everything, he's about to see what I can build. Build without him, Lisa grinned. There's the fire. I looked at the unfinished lines on the page. He took my funding, fine, but he forgot one thing. What's that? I'm the reason he ever believed in success at all. She nodded slowly. Then make him remember, without even saying his name. I stared at the drawing. I will. And for the first time in months, I meant it. Ethan leaned over my screen, eyes narrowing. You've been up all night, haven't you? I rubbed my temples. Maybe. I couldn't stop until the layout looked right. He smiled. You're turning into one of us, obsessed. Or just trying to forget what I lost. He studied me quietly. You didn't lose, Emma. You just got pushed off track. I exhaled. Feels like the track disappeared. Then build a new one, he said simply. Those words stuck with me all morning. Maybe that's what I was doing, building something new. When Lisa stopped by the office later, she glanced around. You actually look alive in here. I'm trying, I said. Ethan gives me real work. It feels good. She handed me a sandwich. Eat. You forget food exists when you're plotting revenge, I smirked. It's not revenge. Then why do you still flinch when his name comes up? Because it still burned. Because Daniel Rivers had taken my dream and turned it into his victory lap. That night, I sat at my desk with a cup of coffee and a memory card I'd stolen weeks ago from the firm's shared folder before I left. It contained contracts, messages, files I wasn't supposed to see. I clicked open one marked Anna M. Partnership Terms. My eyes widened. The contract was brutal. Daniel had stripped Anna, Olivia's younger sister, of half her profit rights. She'd signed under pressure. I remembered her quiet face at one of Daniel's parties, always standing behind Olivia, nervous, polite. I called Mark. He answered instantly. Emma, it's late, I know. I need to ask you something about Daniel, he sighed. That's not a name I like hearing anymore. You worked with him. Did you know he forced Anna to sign away her shares? Silence, then, yeah, I knew. He said it was strategic consolidation. I called it what it was. Greed. I clenched my jaw. Why didn't you say anything? Because no one wanted to go against him. He owns people with favors and fear. Well, not me anymore. Mark's tone sharpened. Emma, don't get dragged into this. He's ruthless. So am I now, he groaned. You don't know what you're starting. Yes, I do, I said. I'm starting to take back what he stole. After the call, I sat there for a long time. My hands shook, not from fear, but from resolve. The next morning, I told Ethan, I need to take a few personal days. He raised an eyebrow. Personal or dangerous? Maybe both, he smirked. Then take me with you, I hesitated. This isn't your fight. I like dangerous puzzles, he said. Besides, you look like you could use backup. I smiled weakly. You have no idea. We met Mark at a small cafe on the east side. He looked nervous, constantly scanning the door. If Daniel finds out I'm here? He won't, I said. Ethan leaned forward. So we're taking down a corporate shark. Fun. How? Mark lowered his voice. There's a file trail. Anna tried to file a complaint through an internal channel. It got buried. But the records exist. Where? In his cloud system. He keeps backups of everything. Encrypted? Ethan asked. Mark nodded. Of course. But I might still have access. I smiled slightly. Then let's use that. Lisa called later that evening. Please tell me you're not doing something stupid. I laughed softly. Depends on your definition of stupid. The kind where Daniel ends up on the news and you end up sued. Then yes, I said. Exactly that kind, she groaned. Emma, this could blow up. I know. Then why risk it? Because if I don't, he wins again. She was quiet for a long moment. You sound different. I feel different, I said. I'm not chasing closure anymore. I'm chasing truth. The next day I met Anna. She looked smaller than I remembered, timid, avoiding eye contact. Why did you want to see me? She asked softly. Because I know what he did to you. Her head shot up. You don't understand. He'll destroy me. He already has, I said gently. You just haven't admitted it yet. Tears filled her eyes. He made me sign the papers. He said it was for my own good. Olivia told me to trust him, and you believed her. I had no choice, she whispered. They're family. I reached across the table. You still have a choice now. Help me expose him, her hand trembled. If I do, I'll lose everything. I met her eyes. If you don't, he'll take everything anyway. She swallowed hard. You're not afraid of him, are you? I used to be, I said. Now I'm just done. When she left, I texted Mark. She's in. He replied, then you better move fast. Daniel's been asking questions. That night, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. Emma, Daniel's voice drawled. Funny. I keep hearing your name pop up in places it doesn't belong. My heart skipped. Then stop listening to gossip, he chuckled. You think I don't know what you're doing? I'm rebuilding, I said evenly. Something you wouldn't understand. Be careful, he said, voice low. You're playing a game you can't win. Maybe, I said, but at least it's my game now. The line went dead. Lisa found me pacing when she got home. He called, didn't he? I nodded. He knows something. Then stop. I can't, I said. Not until it's done, she sighed. You sound just like him, I froze. No, I sound like someone who finally stopped being afraid. The night stretched long and heavy. I sat at my desk staring at the glowing screen, evidence files, messages, recordings. Every line was a reminder of what he'd done. Ethan texted, you sure about this? Once it starts, there's no undo, I typed back. I'm sure. Then, to myself, I whispered, you forgot I was your miracle, Daniel. Now I'm reminding you, and I hit send. Mark's voice shook through the phone. Emma, he knows. Daniel knows you're digging. I froze mid-step. How? He traced an IP from his company server. He's been asking who accessed the old files. My stomach dropped. You told him it wasn't me, right? I tried. But he's not stupid. He's watching everyone now. I pressed a hand to my forehead. Damn it! Emma, listen to me, Mark said urgently. He's dangerous when cornered. Promise me you'll keep your distance. I laughed bitterly. He already took everything once. What's left for him to destroy? You, Mark said quietly. He'll go after you. The line went dead, leaving a hum that felt like dread crawling down my spine. I sat in Ethan's office, staring at the open laptop screen filled with contracts, recordings, and voice notes. He's on to me, I whispered. Ethan looked up from his desk. Then it's time to stop hiding. I shook my head. Not yet. I still need more, he frowned. More proof or more pain? Both, maybe, I muttered. Lisa walked in just then, carrying coffee. What's going on? Daniel's trying to shut Mark up, I said. He's threatening him. Her face went pale. Oh my God, what will you do? What I should have done months ago. She crossed her arms. Which is? I met her gaze. Fight back, Ethan leaned forward. You're ready to publish? I hesitated. Almost. I need one more confirmation from Anna. If she's willing to go on record, he won't escape this. Lisa touched my shoulder. Are you sure about this? Once it's out, there's no undoing. I'm sure, I said softly. I just didn't expect it to hurt this much. That night, I found myself scrolling through old photos. Daniel and I smiling, holding hands, looking like the kind of people who believed love could fix everything. I whispered to the empty room, "Where did we go wrong?" A voice in my head answered, "When he stopped seeing you as his miracle and started seeing you as his mirror." I remembered the way he once told me, "You make me better, Emma." I almost believed it. Now I wondered if he'd meant useful. My phone buzzed. It was Anna. "I'll do it," she said quietly. "I'll testify. I'm tired of being afraid." "You're sure?" "Yes, but he'll find out." "Then let him," I said. "He can't silence all of us." When I hung up, Ethan was already by the printer collecting pages. "This is everything?" he asked. "All of it," I said. "Emails, contracts, witness statements. Every lie he ever told in writing." He nodded. "We'll format it as an exposé under the agency's publication name." "You'll stay anonymous." "No," I said. "Use my name," he blinked. "You want your name on this?" "Yes," I said. He hid behind mine for years. It's time he sees I'm not hiding behind his. Lisa groaned. "You're fearless, or insane." "Probably both," I said, forcing a small smile. Ethan studied me. "You know this will destroy him." I hesitated. "That's what scares me. I don't know if I want that, or if I just want peace." Lisa took my hand. "You want freedom. That's not the same as revenge." Maybe she was right. But when I hit upload, I felt a rush of something dark and liberating at once. Within an hour, the exposé was live. Daniel Rivers, the truth behind the empire. Messages started pouring in. Journalists, former employees, investors demanding answers. By evening, his company's social page went dark. Olivia's name started trending next to his. I paced the room. "It's happening," I said under my breath. Ethan scrolled through the news. "He's finished. His board just suspended him pending investigation." Lisa exhaled shakily. "Oh my God. You actually did it, but victory didn't taste like I imagined." It was cold, hollow. Later that night, Mark called again. His voice was low. "He's losing control. He's blaming everyone. Me, Olivia, you. He always needs a target." "Olivia's turning on him too," Mark added. "She leaked part of their private messages to the press. She's trying to save herself." I sank onto the couch. "Of course she is." "She said he made her believe in him," Mark continued. "Sound familiar?" I laughed quietly. "Too familiar. Emma, are you okay?" I hesitated. "I should be, but I don't feel like the same person anymore." "You're stronger." "Maybe," I said. "Or colder," he sighed. "Sometimes they're the same thing." After the call, I stepped onto the balcony. The night wind was sharp, carrying the sound of sirens from the distance, like the city itself was reacting to what I'd done. My phone buzzed again. Daniel. I stared at the name glowing on the screen, then answered. His voice was strained, trembling. "You think you've won?" "I didn't do it to win," I said. "You destroyed me, Emma." I closed my eyes. "No, Daniel. You did that yourself. I just stopped pretending not to see it." "You still love me," he said desperately. "I know you do." "I loved who I thought you were," I whispered. "But he doesn't exist anymore," he exhaled sharply. "You'll regret this." "Maybe," I said quietly. "But at least I'll regret it as myself." The line went dead. Lisa came out behind me, her robe pulled tight. "Was that him?" "Yes. What did he say?" "That I destroyed him." "And do you believe that?" I stared at the skyline. "No, I think he destroyed himself long before I ever fought back." She was silent for a moment. "So what now?" "I don't know," I said. "Part of me wants to celebrate. Another part just wants to sleep for a week." She smiled softly. "You earned both." As the first hints of dawn touched the sky, I realized something. The revenge I thought would heal me only revealed how much I'd changed. I wasn't the girl who once believed love was enough. I wasn't the woman who begged for closure. I was someone else entirely, maybe stronger, maybe scarred, but finally mine. The world doesn't end with a bang. It fades in whispers and headlines. By the time I reached the office, Daniel's empire had started collapsing. My feed was flooded with breaking news. Rivers Creative under investigation. Major clients withdraw support. Lisa looked up from her phone. "He's finished," she said quietly. I nodded, unable to feel what I thought I would. It happened faster than I expected. "Olivia's gone too," she added. She wiped her socials. "Reporters say she's already meeting with his competitors." "Poetic," I murmured. "Cruel," Lisa corrected. I shrugged. "Depends on who's watching." Later that evening, I sat alone in my apartment when the knock came, slow, hesitant, familiar. When I opened the door, Daniel stood there, unshaven, exhausted, his suit wrinkled, his eyes hollow. "Emma," he whispered. "Please," I didn't speak. I just stepped aside, and he walked in like a ghost, retracing steps from a past life. He looked around the room. "You kept the painting," he said, staring at the canvas he'd once bought for me. "I liked the colors," I said simply. "Not the memory?" "No," he nodded slowly. "Fair." Silence stretched between us until he broke it. "You destroyed me," I met his gaze. "No, Daniel. You did that all on your own." "I made mistakes." His voice cracked. "But I loved you," I exhaled. "Love isn't supposed to break everything it touches." He took a step closer. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I thought I was protecting us. Were you by lying? By using me?" He shook his head desperately. "I was scared." "You were better than me." "You always were." I looked at him. This man who once felt larger than life, now reduced to pleading. "Then why did you try to make me small?" He closed his eyes. "Because I couldn't stand being the one who needed saving." For a second, pity clawed at my chest. Then I remembered every sleepless night, every betrayal dressed as reason. He dropped to his knees. "Emma, please. Tell them it was a mistake. You can fix this. You're the only one who ever could." I said nothing. He reached for my hand, but I stepped back. The gesture stopped him cold. "Please," he whispered again. "Don't let them erase me." "I'm not the one erasing you," I said softly. "You did that when you erased me." He looked up, eyes glistening. "You're all I have left." "Then maybe you should have treated me like it." Silence swallowed the room. His shoulders slumped, breath uneven. For the first time, he looked small, human, broken. When he finally stood, he wiped his face roughly. "You win, Emma." I shook my head. "This isn't winning." He stared at me one last time. "It feels like losing everything." "It's called consequence," I said. He left without another word. The door clicked shut, and with it, something inside me went quiet. Lisa found me an hour later, sitting on the couch with untouched tea. "He came here, didn't he?" "Yes." "Did he beg?" "Yes." "Did you forgive him?" I hesitated. "No," she nodded slowly. "Good," I looked at her. "Why doesn't it feel good?" "Because you still care," she said. "That's the curse of loving someone deeply. You don't stop caring just because they stop deserving it." I smiled faintly. "Maybe I'm just tired." She sat beside me, crossing her legs. "You know, there's something I should tell you." "About Mark," I frowned. "What about him?" She hesitated. "He didn't help you just out of guilt. He did it because he loves you." I blinked. "What?" "He's been in love with you for years, Emma, since before Daniel. He told me once that he'd rather stand beside you silently than watch someone else destroy you." My chest tightened. "He never said anything." "Because he knew you'd never look at him the same way." I stared at the floor. "I didn't even notice." Lisa's voice softened. "You were too busy fighting for someone who didn't fight for you." I rubbed my eyes. I ignored kindness because I was chasing a storm. "Maybe now," she said gently. "You can see the difference." The weight of her words settled in me like truth I'd avoided for too long. Mark, quiet, steady, loyal Mark, the man who warned me, protected me, stood in the shadows while I burned for someone who couldn't love without control. "I owe him an apology," I whispered. Lisa smiled faintly. "He doesn't want your guilt, just your peace." I leaned back, exhaling. "I don't even know who I am without the war." "Then maybe," she said softly, "it's time to find out." Outside, the city glowed, its lights trembling like fragile hope. I picked up my phone, scrolled through missed messages. One from Mark. Heard what happened. Proud of you. Take care of yourself. I stared at the words, my throat tightening. For the first time, I didn't feel anger or grief, just quiet. Daniel's kingdom had fallen. The man who once ruled my heart now stood in ruins of his own making. And me? I was finally standing outside his shadow, not as his miracle, not as his victim, but as myself. The morning after the storm felt unnaturally quiet. For once, my phone wasn't buzzing, no emails demanded my attention, and the air didn't hum with tension. Lisa called first. You alive? Barely, I said, half laughing. But breathing counts, right? That's progress. You did what most people can't. You walked away without looking back. I looked back, I admitted. Just didn't walk toward it. She smiled through the phone. That's enough for now. After we hung up, I made coffee and stared at the steam curling upward. It felt symbolic, fading, shifting, free. Later that day, I met Mark at the park. He was sitting on the same bench where he once warned me about Daniel, sunlight cutting across his tired face. You look lighter, he said. I feel unfinished, I replied. But lighter, yes, he smiled faintly. I read the article about Daniel's downfall. You didn't hold back. I didn't have to, I said. The truth was enough, he nodded. Still hurts, though, doesn't it? I looked at the leaves drifting from the trees. Yeah, it's strange. I thought revenge would fix me. But it only cleared space for something else, something I don't know how to name yet. Peace? He offered. Maybe. Or just emptiness learning how to breathe. He chuckled. That sounds like you, I glanced at him. Lisa told me what you did for me. Why you did it, he froze. She did? Yes, he scratched the back of his neck. I didn't want you to feel obligated. I don't, I said softly. I didn't see you before. Not really. He looked at me for a long moment. You were in love. People don't see clearly when they're drowning. I thought I was swimming, I murmured. You were fighting to survive. That's different. For a while, we sat in silence, the sound of children playing nearby filling the space between words. Thank you, Mark, I said finally. For what? For staying when I wasn't worth staying for. He gave a small smile. You were always worth it. You just forgot. I blinked hard, holding back the emotion building behind my eyes. I'm trying to remember now. He stood, brushing off his jeans. You'll get there. And when you do, don't look for me to save you. Just let me be around when you start living again. I nodded. Deal. We parted ways with a quiet understanding, something gentler than romance, but more honest than pity. That evening, I stopped by the creative agency. Ethan was in his office, surrounded by sketches and coffee cups. Cole, he said, smiling. I heard you made headlines again. Bad ones or good ones? Depends on who you ask. I'd say heroic, I laughed softly. Heroism feels overrated. I just wanted the truth out. He leaned against the desk. And now? Now I just want to create again. Not out of anger, but out of something cleaner. Ethan nodded. Then you're finally ready to be an artist. I tilted my head. You think revenge ruined my creativity? It didn't ruin it, he said. It focused it. But now you can let it breathe. That night, I drove to the hill overlooking the city, the place where Daniel once told me, "You're my miracle." The wind carried a faint chill, and the skyline shimmered below. I reached into my pocket and pulled out the silver bracelet he gave me years ago, the one engraved with our initials. For a moment, memories flickered. Laughter, promises, the illusion of forever. Then I placed the bracelet on the bench and whispered, "You were never my miracle." I was, the words didn't sting. They settled, like truth finally given air. As I turned to leave, I didn't cry. I just breathed. The night sky stretched wide and endless, and for the first time in a long time, it didn't feel like it was closing in. Lisa was right. Survival wasn't about beating someone else. It was about not letting them define what you became afterward. I had spent months chasing closure when what I needed was acceptance. So I drove home, rolled down the window, and let the cool air touch my face. The city lights blurred, golden and soft, like forgiveness learning to glow. Daniel's story had ended. Mine was just beginning, and as the world moved quietly beneath me, I whispered to no one in particular, "I'm still here." A full year had passed since the night I walked away from everything that broke me. Today, I stood under the warm lights of a stage that wasn't borrowed, begged for, or built on someone else's promises. It was mine. Ready? Ethan whispered from behind the curtain. I smiled, though my palms trembled slightly. As ready as I'll ever be. Lisa's voice floated from the front row. You've got this, Em. I laughed under my breath. She still calls me that. She always will, Ethan said. It's her way of saying she believes in you. Then I'll take it, I said, exhaling slowly. When the host introduced me, founder and creative director of Miracle Studio, Emma Cole, the applause felt surreal. For a moment I stood frozen, staring at the crowd. Then I stepped forward. Good evening, I began, my voice steadier than my heartbeat. A year ago I almost gave up on myself. But miracles don't just happen once. They begin when you start believing you deserve them again. Lisa's smile gleamed like a quiet anchor. Mark sat beside her, his usual calm expression softening into pride. Ethan gave me a discreet thumbs up from the side. I continued. This firm was built from pieces I thought were lost, creativity, courage, and a little bit of madness. I wanted a place where no one has to prove their worth by breaking themselves for someone else. Applause swelled again, and I caught my breath. For once, I wasn't hiding behind someone else's success. I was standing inside my own. After the speech, the crowd mingled. Ethan came over, handing me a glass of sparkling cider. You did it, he said. I did, I whispered, still trying to believe it. We did, he grinned. You've come a long way from that quiet woman who doubted every word she said. I laughed softly. She was scared. But she learned that silence doesn't keep peace, it just keeps pain hidden. Lisa joined us, eyes glistening. You made me cry up there. You know that, right? Then I did my job, I said, hugging her. You did more than that, she said. You proved people can heal without becoming cruel. Mark stepped closer, hands in his pockets. You made us proud, Emma. Us? I teased. Or you? He smiled. Both, but mostly me. Ethan laughed. He's been bragging for months that he knew you'd make it. I raised a brow. Is that true, Mark? Maybe, he said. But I also knew you'd outgrow the pain faster than you thought. I took a sip of cider and said quietly, It's strange. I still feel the scar sometimes. Like it's part of me now, but it doesn't ache anymore. That's what healing feels like, Mark said. It stops hurting, but it reminds you how far you've come. Lisa looped her arm through mine. And you've come far enough to stop apologizing for surviving. Before I could respond, a reporter approached with a small camera crew. Ms. Cole, congratulations on your launch. Would you like to comment on your former partner's new project? I blinked. Former partner? The reporter turned her camera toward the nearby TV screen broadcasting a business news segment. Daniel Rivers' face appeared, smiling too widely beside a bold headline. Rivers returns with a new venture. My stomach didn't twist this time. My heart didn't race. I just watched quietly. Lisa muttered, He never quits. Ethan frowned. Guess he's trying to rebuild. Mark studied me carefully. You okay? I nodded slowly. Yeah, I thought seeing him again would break something inside me. But it doesn't, it's just a ghost walking through its own ruins. The reporter leaned closer. Would you like to say anything for the record? I smiled politely. Just tell him, good luck. When she left, Lisa raised an eyebrow. Good luck? That's it? Yeah, I said. Because I'm not waiting anymore. He can chase what he wants, I've already found mine, Mark smirked. That sounded poetic. Or final, Ethan added. It is, I said. Completely. We stood there watching the city lights shimmer through the glass walls of the hall. Laughter and chatter filled the air, but for me everything slowed into quiet clarity. Lisa nudged me. You know, you could have named the firm anything. Why Miracle Studio? I looked at her and smiled. Because once someone called me their miracle. They forgot what that meant. So I took it back and turned it into something that would never be forgotten again. Ethan whistled softly. That's powerful, Mark nodded. That's you, I smiled, eyes glistening but calm. No. That's who I became. As the night wound down, I walked to the balcony, feeling the breeze lift my hair. The city stretched endlessly before me, glittering with possibility. Lisa joined me quietly. You did it. You really did. I glanced at her, at Mark, at Ethan laughing in the distance, and for the first time, I didn't feel like I was trying to prove anything. I didn't just rebuild, I said softly. I was reborn. Lisa squeezed my hand. New dawn? I smiled. New me. The lights below flickered like stars, and for a fleeting second, I imagined whispering into the wind. Go ahead, Daniel. Start again. I won't be waiting this time, because the miracle wasn't something I gave away anymore. It was me, finally whole. The envelope lay on my desk like a ghost that refused to leave. No name, just his handwriting, the same sharp, deliberate scrawl that used to sign love notes and contracts with equal precision. I stared at it for a long time before tearing it open. Inside, a single page. His voice echoed in my head as I read. Emma, I'm sorry, but I lost you and I lost myself. Everything I touched after you turned to dust. You were right. You were my miracle and I broke it. I don't expect forgiveness. I just needed you to know I finally understand. For a moment, I said nothing. My throat tightened, my pulse slowed. Then I whispered, Too late, Daniel. The silence around me didn't argue. Lisa's voice came from behind me. She had let herself in as she often did. You okay? I held up the letter. He finally wrote. She frowned. After all this time? Yeah, I said softly. A year of silence and suddenly paper guilt. What did he say? That he's sorry. That he lost me. That he lost himself, she sighed. And you? I found myself, I said, my voice steady. So I guess we're even. Lisa stepped closer, eyes narrowing at the letter. What are you going to do with it? I looked at the page again, then reached for the shredder. The hum filled the room as the words vanished line by line. Lisa watched quietly. That was oddly satisfying. It was necessary, I said. Some ghosts don't deserve a home anymore, she smiled faintly. Then how about we exorcise the rest of them with champagne tonight? I laughed. You read my mind, always have, she said. Call the boys. Mark and Ethan deserve to celebrate too. I nodded, dialing Ethan first. He answered with his usual cheer. Emma Cole, CEO of Miracles. What's up? Drinks tonight, bring Mark. No business talk? Just laughter, he chuckled. That I can do. When I hung up, I turned to the mirror above my desk. For a long moment, I studied the reflection staring back. There she was, the woman who once cried over promises, who thought love was measured by how much she could endure. But beside her, I saw the woman I had become, steadier, sharper, still soft, but no longer breakable. Lisa caught me smiling. You see it too, don't you? I do, I said. Finally. That evening, we met at our favorite rooftop bar. The sunset painted the city gold, laughter spilling over the edges of the table. Ethan raised his glass. To survival, and to the woman who reminded us what strength looks like. Mark clinked his glass softly against mine. And to peace, finally earned, Lisa grinned. And to me because someone had to keep her from setting Daniel's car on fire. I laughed, almost choking on my drink. You'll never let that go, will you? Not a chance, she said. It's one of my favorite threats you didn't follow through on. We laughed until the sky turned deep blue and the air grew cool. For once, I didn't feel haunted by memory. When the night ended, I walked home alone through the park, the same one where Daniel once waited with flowers and whispered plans for forever. I sat on the familiar bench, the city hum blending with the rustle of leaves. From my purse, I pulled out a small locket, the one he gave me on our first anniversary. Inside was a faded photo of us, smiling like we had everything figured out. I opened it one last time. We were so sure, I murmured. So young. So wrong. The metal glinted faintly under the streetlight. Then I placed it on the bench and stood. You can stay here, I whispered. This was your place, not mine. The wind picked up, brushing against my face like a soft goodbye. I turned and started walking toward the city lights where laughter and life waited for me. My phone buzzed, a message from Lisa. We're still at the bar. You coming back? I smiled as I typed, on my way. Let's celebrate. As I crossed the bridge, I looked back once, just once, and saw the park fading into shadow. The past didn't hurt anymore. It simply existed, like an old photograph that no longer defined the person in it. I whispered into the night, not for him, but for me. I gave you my miracle. Now I keep it for myself, and with that, I walked forward, light, free, and whole.